is Gabriel Rivera. I'm the director of cross country and track and field here at Long Beach City College.
Oh, thank you for doing this interview with me. When did you first decide to become a coach?
Thinking back, I would say that epiphany that I had where I wanted to get into coaching really began around my junior year of college. At that point, saw myself finishing up my academic career. I was an athlete as well in college. I was a track athlete and loved the sport so much I didn't want to leave it. So at that point, I really wasn't in a position to change my major. I was obtaining my degree in criminal justice. So what I decided to do was finish out my degree in criminal justice. After that, I worked for a year in a juvenile detention center, and I coached part-time at a community college in track and field. So I was able to test the waters as a part-time coach and then work in the field, something related to my major. Knew I loved the sport so much, like I said, I didn't want to leave it. So after that year, I then went to grad school, obtained my master's, and been coaching ever since.
Awesome. All right. So what about being a coach? What about being track and field? Intrigued you so much?
Well, for one, I love this. I grew up loving sports, so I was always active as a young child. So whether when summers come, baseball, basketball, football. Didn't start track till my sophomore year of high school. Like I said, just love the sport. The one thing I liked about the sport and I enjoy about the sport, it's individualistic in nature. Even though you're working as a team for a common goal, potentially for a championship trophy in your conference or at the state championships. The individual aspect is highly emphasized. So when you're out there, you're representing your school, but you're also representing yourself. So your success that you may have is going to be dependent on the work that you put in, the work ethic that you have. That's one of the things I truly admire and love about the sport, just that individual nature where you're kind of the leader of your own success and even failure.
So what led you to go into the universities and the schools that you went to? Was there something about those universities that they were just like you can learn a lot more from them? Or
Well, for me, and where I was at as a student and as an athlete, it was more of who would take me. So out of high school, I had a few walk-on offers, and I didn't have a great financial aid package, so community college was the best bet for me. So I was at a community college for 2 years, competed in track while I was in community college. This was out of state. And then from there, I attended the University of Illinois at Chicago to finish up my degree. That's where I got my degree in criminal justice. I wound up going to UIC because one of my best friends that I had that was with me on track in community college, he ended up at UIC as an athlete. So he convinced his coach to take a chance on me, and that's really how I ended up there. So it was kind of yeah, okay, we'll take you, we'll give you an opportunity type of deal. So it wasn't so much that I chose them as they felt sorry for me. They took me on, and then I got my master's from Eastern New Mexico University, and that was a great opportunity. Just to be able to attain my master's and work with the track and field team there, the athletes there. That was a great opportunity, and it really helped open up doors for me in regards to professional opportunities afterwards.
okay, that's really good path forward. Um, is this facility, so is this college, a so is this the facility that like, are you gonna stay at a community college, or are you going to ever advance into a higher field? All right.
I think it's you can look at it several different ways. I think in a college athletics, I think where I'm at in my career with my family, this is a type of setting in college I would love to be at for a very long time and potentially even be able to retire from. there's great people in the community college setting. There's great people at this college as well. So I'm very blessed to be where I'm currently at right now. And there's a lot of things that we can accomplish here, I think. This track and field program has a rich history of what's been accomplished in years prior through, Coach Vigilant, who's still here, Coach Alice, who's on the program now, and several other coaches that have come to this program, Coach Ripley, Coach Richardson. They've done a phenomenal job over the years laying that foundation, and I truly believe that this college is located in the right city in order for us to build something that can be successful again, and I think we're on the right track. So in order for all that to occur and for these things to take place, that success these previous coaches and current coaches had, it wasn't done overnight. It took years and decades to build and get there, and if I'm fortunate enough to get that done, we'll probably have years and decades go by at that point.
All right. If you had to do it all over again, would you still choose to become, the director or coach? And why or why not? If so, if you did choose a different one, what would you have done instead?
I think definitely would have done things. I would still be a track coach. I may have made. I think always when we look back, we would. There's things we've done where we say, oh, maybe I should have done this that way or that, that way. I think the one thing for me would have been, undergrad, deciding I was going to be a coach much earlier, and then instead of doing criminal justice, doing something like kinesiology, to help get me on the path a little faster, because it did take a little while, in terms of learning, just having to do a lot of self-taught and schooling in regards to training methods and how to properly train athletes and things of that nature. And even to this day, I'm still learning. I think that's the one thing about being a coach. You're trying to teach athletes, and you're a teacher in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. But as a coach, you can never stop learning. There's always new information coming out. You have to always evolve. Like, I think if you look at my workouts today, they probably changed like 10% every year from what I did the previous year. So if you look at what I'm doing today, it's dramatically different what I was doing like 10 years ago. Still a lot of the common themes, but just, the way it's structured and formulated is just a little different. So, but I'm getting off on tangents here. No, I don't think I've done anything different. I'll still be a track coach. This is like, it's a passion, it's a love. Like, it's way better than going and clocking in 9 to 5 somewhere and just doing, you're actually doing something that's, I think, meaningful in people's lives. I think. So I enjoy it.
Final question: is there any advice you'd give to future students who want to become a coach?
I think networking is important. I think take advantage of opportunities that exist out there. Don't be afraid to volunteer and do graduate assistantship opportunities. Like, when I first started off, I was on a very small stipend, a part-time position, and I was doing that for 2 years, and then I was a graduate assistant for 2 years, and that the pay for that was, of course, peanuts as well. So I was doing it for 4 years, and then when I first got my first, like full-time coaching position where I was working full-time hours, I was still being paid part-time. So like the first 5 years of me coaching, it was just a lot of just grunt work, and I wouldn't call it grunt work, but you're putting in almost the full-time hours of a coach, but you're not getting paid for it. And then you just put in your dues, and then positions and opportunities open up. So it's definitely tough getting started, but if it's something you truly love, you'll put enough sacrifices for the rewards you can have much later in life in your career.
That's really awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, sure thing. No problem at all.